Welcome to Maestros TV Professional Education Materials Review Series. What is good in this podcast is that you can have your review anywhere while listening. In this episode, we dive into technology for teaching and learning, a crucial subject in the Licensure Examination for Teachers, LET. This session will equip future educators with essential knowledge on integrating technology into the classroom, enhancing student engagement, and maximizing learning outcomes. From visual and audio media to interactive digital tools, we'll explore effective strategies, best practices, and key concepts that align with LET standards. Stay tuned, take notes, and let's master the power of technology in education together. Before we proceed to our main discussion, we shall have our short LET challenge examination. Question 1. Which of the following is not an advantage of using visual media in teaching? A. Enhances students' retention of information. B. Encourages student engagement and participation. C. Eliminates the need for teacher explanations. D. Makes abstract concepts more concrete. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since visual media is meant to enhance learning, not replace the teacher's explanations. Teachers should still provide context, guidance, and discussions alongside visual aids. Letter A, B, and D are not correct because visual media does help in retention of information. A. Engaging students. B. And making abstract concepts more concrete. D. 2. Which principle should be followed when using visual media in the classroom? A. The more colorful the media, the better. B. Media should be appropriate to the learner's level. C. Media should be filled with excessive details. D. The teacher should rely solely on media for instruction. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. Letter B is the correct answer since effective use of visual media requires that the materials match the student's cognitive level and needs. Letter A is not correct because overly colorful materials can distract rather than help students focus. Letter C is not correct because excessive details may overwhelm learners. Letter D is not correct because media should complement, not replace, direct instruction. 3. What type of audio media allows learners to engage in interactive listening activities, such as podcasts with embedded quizzes? A. Radio broadcasts. B. Audiobooks. C. Interactive audio recordings. D. Background music. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. Letter C is the correct answer since interactive audio recordings provide listening activities that require students to respond, answer quizzes, or complete exercises. Letter A is not correct because radio broadcasts are passive listening activities. Letter B is not correct because audiobooks simply read texts without interactive elements. Letter D is not correct because background music does not directly engage learners in an interactive manner. Question 4. Which of the following best describes how teachers should use audio media to enhance learning? A. As the primary instructional method in all subjects. B. As supplementary material to reinforce learning. C. As a replacement for teacher explanations. D. As background noise to help students focus. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. The correct answer is letter B since audio media should serve as a reinforcement tool, helping to support and deepen learning rather than replacing other instructional methods. Letter A is not correct because not all subjects benefit from purely audio instruction. Letter C is not correct because teachers still need to explain concepts. Letter D is not correct because background noise can be distracting rather than helpful. 5. Which of these is a potential drawback of using audio media in the classroom? A. It is engaging and encourages participation. B. It enhances listening skills. C. It may be challenging for students with hearing impairments. D. It allows teachers to control the pace of learning. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since students with hearing impairments may struggle to benefit from purely audio-based learning materials. Letter A and B are not correct because they highlight the benefits of audio media, not its drawbacks. Letter D is not correct because audio media often limits teacher control over pacing rather than enhancing it. 6. What is the primary advantage of projected media in classroom instruction? A. It removes the need for teacher supervision. B. It enables large group instruction with better visibility. C. It eliminates the need for interactive discussions. D. It replaces hands-on learning activities. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since projected media allows teachers to present materials clearly to a large group of students, improving visibility and comprehension. Letter A is not correct because teachers still need to supervise and facilitate learning. Letter C is not correct because discussions are still necessary. Letter D is not correct because projected media should complement, not replace, hands-on activities. 7. When using audiovisual media, what should a teacher consider first? A. The availability of a projector. B. The cost of the media. C. The relevance of the content to the lesson objectives. D. The length of the video or presentation. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since the effectiveness of audiovisual media depends on how well it aligns with the lesson objectives. Letter A is not correct because having a projector is secondary to ensuring quality content. Letter B is not correct because cost should not outweigh educational value. Letter D is not correct because video length is a factor but not the most important consideration. 8. Which of the following is an example of a manipulative material commonly used in the classroom? A. PowerPoint presentation. B. Digital animation. C. Counting blocks. D. Podcast recordings. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since counting blocks are physical, hands-on materials that help students engage in learning through manipulation. Letter A and B are not correct because they are digital and not hands-on. Letter D is not correct because a podcast is an audio resource, not a manipulative. 9. In selecting manipulative materials for a lesson, a teacher should prioritize A. Cost-effectiveness and brand popularity. B. Ease of use and alignment with learning objectives. C. The amount of time it takes to prepare. D. The preference of the teacher. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since manipulative materials should be easy to use and should directly support the lesson's goals. Letter A is not correct because cost and brand should not be the primary concern. Letter C is not correct because preparation time is secondary to effectiveness. Letter D is not correct because student learning should take priority over teacher preference. 10. Which of the following is a good practice when using display technologies in the classroom? A. Displaying information without explaining it. B. Ensuring that visual elements are large and clear for all students. C. Using multimedia content only when textbooks are unavailable. D. Relying exclusively on digital media for instruction. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since clear and visible visual elements help enhance student understanding. Letter A is not correct because teachers should still explain content. Letter C is not correct because multimedia should complement, not replace, textbooks. Letter D is not correct because a mix of instructional methods is always better. We shall now review the various concepts involved in these sets of questions. Enhancing learning with various forms of media. Learning with visual media. Visual media refers to any learning materials that convey information primarily through images, graphics, or text. These include charts and graphs, simplify complex data, and improve comprehension. Diagrams and maps help in visualizing concepts, locations, or processes. Pictures and illustrations provide concrete representations of abstract ideas. Flashcards and posters useful in vocabulary development and key concept reinforcement. Benefits of visual media in learning. Enhances memory retention and recall. Helps learners understand complex ideas through visualization. Supports differentiated instruction for diverse learning needs. Strategies for using visual media. Use high-quality images with relevant context. Label diagrams and charts clearly. Incorporate graphic organizers like concept maps and Venn diagrams. Blend images with textual explanations for clarity. Learning with audio media. Audio media involves sound-based instructional materials such as podcasts, provide in-depth discussions on various topics. Audiobooks help students with reading difficulties or those who learn best through listening. Recorded lectures allow students to review lessons at their own pace. Radio-based instruction beneficial in remote learning contexts. Advantages of audio media. Supports auditory learners. Allows multitasking while learning. Develops listening and comprehension skills. Effective use of audio media in teaching. Encourage note-taking while listening. Use storytelling techniques to engage students. Provide transcripts for better understanding. Projected media and audiovisual technologies. Projected media includes any technology that displays visual or audiovisual content to a group of learners. Examples include overhead projectors, OHPs, used for displaying transparencies. Multimedia projectors connect to computers for showing slides, videos, and animations. Television and video displays enable access to educational programs and documentaries. Benefits of projected media. Enhances student engagement through visuals and animations. Encourages collaborative and interactive learning. Supports large group instruction. Best practices for using projected media. Ensure good visibility and sound quality. Supplement with discussions or interactive activities. Avoid over-reliance on passive viewing. Engage students with questions. Using manipulatives in the classroom. Manipulatives are physical objects that help students understand abstract concepts. Examples include mathematical manipulatives, counters, base 10 blocks, fraction strips. Science manipulatives, models of the solar system, DNA structures, and lab apparatus. Language manipulatives, letter tiles, flashcards, word-building kits. Why use manipulatives? Promotes hands-on learning. Enhances understanding of difficult concepts. Develops problem-solving and critical thinking skills. How to integrate manipulatives effectively. Align with lesson objectives. Allow students to explore and experiment. Combine with discussions and reflections. The role of technology in education. Technology integration enhances teaching and learning by facilitating access to vast learning resources such as online libraries, ebooks. Encouraging interactive learning such as gamification, virtual simulations. Providing immediate feedback through online quizzes and assessments. Common educational technologies. Learning management systems, LMS, Google Classroom, Moodle, Schoology. Online collaboration tools, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. Digital assessment tools, Kahoot, Quizzes, Google Forms. Interactive whiteboards allow real-time writing, drawing, and content display. Challenges in technology integration. Digital divide, inequality in access. Teacher training and preparedness. Student distraction and digital literacy issues. Strategies for successful technology integration. Blend technology with traditional methods. Provide teacher and student training. Implement clear digital use guidelines. Assessing the impact of technology in education. To evaluate whether technology enhances learning, consider student engagement levels. Are students more motivated? Performance improvement. Are students achieving better results? Ease of access to learning materials. Do students have the necessary digital tools? Models for evaluating educational technology. 1. SEMR model, substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition, measures how technology transforms teaching. 2. TPAC model, technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge, evaluates the intersection of technology with teaching methods. Strategies for effective evaluation. Use student feedback and surveys. Analyze test scores and learning outcomes. Observe classroom engagement with technology. Enhancing learning through various forms of media and technology is essential for modern education. Teachers must utilize visual, audio, and audiovisual media effectively. Incorporate interactive and hands-on materials for better student engagement. Integrate technology responsibly to support meaningful learning. Regularly evaluate the effectiveness of digital tools. By mastering these principles, teachers can create dynamic, inclusive, and engaging learning environments that prepare students for the 21st century world. We continue the LET mock examination. 11. What is the main benefit of integrating technology in teaching and learning? A. It replaces traditional teaching methods completely. B. It improves student engagement and interactive learning. C. It requires less effort from the teacher. D. It guarantees higher student performance. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since technology enhances learning by making lessons more interactive and engaging for students. Letter A is not correct because technology should supplement, not replace, traditional teaching methods. Letter C is not correct because teachers still need to plan and facilitate technology-based learning. Letter D is not correct because technology alone does not guarantee student success. It depends on how it is used. 12. Which of the following is an example of assistive technology for students with disabilities? A. Interactive whiteboards. B. Educational mobile apps. C. Speech-to-text software. D. PowerPoint presentations. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since speech-to-text software helps students with disabilities, e.g., those with mobility or learning challenges, participate in learning. Letter A is not correct because interactive whiteboards benefit all students, not just those with disabilities. Letter B is not correct because mobile apps vary in accessibility for students with special needs. Letter D is not correct because PowerPoint is not specifically designed for students with disabilities. 13. When using technology in the classroom, a teacher should primarily consider A. The availability of the latest gadgets. B. The educational value of the technology. C. Whether students prefer digital over traditional learning. D. The cost of the devices. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since the primary concern should be whether the technology enhances learning outcomes. Letter A is not correct because having the latest gadgets is not necessary if they do not serve an educational purpose. Letter C is not correct because student preference alone should not determine teaching methods. Letter D is not correct because cost is a factor, but educational value should come first. 14. Which of these is an ethical concern when using technology in education? A. The availability of internet access. B. The cost of purchasing new devices. C. Student data privacy and security. D. The speed of technological advancements. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since student data privacy and security must be protected when using digital tools. Letter A and B are not correct because they are logistical, not ethical concerns. Letter D is not correct because technological advancements do not pose an ethical dilemma on their own. 15. Which of the following is an example of blended learning? A. A teacher uses only online modules for instruction. B. Students learn solely through a digital learning platform. C. A combination of face-to-face instruction and online learning is used. D. The teacher replaces textbooks with digital content without class discussions. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since blended learning integrates both traditional face-to-face teaching and online learning. Letter A and B are not correct because they describe purely online learning. Letter D is not correct because digital content should not completely replace class discussions. 16. What is the best way to assess whether technology integration is effective? A. By observing if students are enjoying the technology. B. By checking if technology is used frequently in class. C. By measuring improvements in student learning outcomes. D. By using as many different digital tools as possible. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since the effectiveness of technology should be measured by its impact on student learning outcomes. Letter A is not correct because student enjoyment does not necessarily mean effective learning. Letter B is not correct because frequent use does not always lead to better outcomes. Letter D is not correct because using multiple tools without purpose can be overwhelming. 17. What should be the primary role of teachers in a technology-integrated classroom? A. To provide students with unlimited access to digital content. B. To act as facilitators and guide students in using technology effectively. C. To rely entirely on online materials for instruction. D. To let students learn independently without supervision. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since teachers should facilitate and guide students in using technology for meaningful learning. Letter A is not correct because unrestricted digital access can lead to distractions. Letter C is not correct because instruction should be a mix of methods, not just online materials. Letter D is not correct because students still need teacher support and supervision. 18. A teacher wants to ensure that students stay focused while using digital devices in the classroom. What is the best strategy? A. Allow students to use technology freely without monitoring. B. Implement clear guidelines and structured digital activities. C. Prohibit the use of any digital devices in class. D. Encourage students to explore the internet without restrictions. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since structured guidelines help students use technology responsibly. Letter A and D are not correct because lack of monitoring may lead to distractions. Letter C is not correct because completely prohibiting technology limits learning opportunities. 19. What is a challenge of integrating technology in low-resource schools? A. Lack of student interest in technology. B. Overabundance of technological devices. C. Limited access to digital tools and internet connectivity. D. Teachers' over-reliance on traditional methods. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter C. Explanation. C is the correct answer since many low-resource schools struggle with limited access to digital tools and reliable internet. Letter A is not correct because students are generally interested in technology. Letter B is not correct because lack, not overabundance, of resources is the issue. Letter D is not correct because traditional methods are not inherently problematic if blended well with technology. 20. What is one way teachers can support digital literacy among students? A. Encouraging students to play video games for learning. B. Teaching students how to evaluate online sources critically. C. Letting students explore social media freely. D. Allowing students to use any website without restriction. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is letter B. Explanation. B is the correct answer since digital literacy includes evaluating the credibility of online sources. Letter A is not correct because not all video games are educational. Letter C is not correct because unmonitored social media use can be risky. Letter D is not correct because unrestricted access to all websites is unsafe for students. That wraps up this episode of Maestros TV.